sit back and say, what is wrong with him? But I know what God has done for me. And I will not allow you to outdo me. Hallelujah. And it's important for all of us to understand that. Sometimes you go to church and somebody is dancing and somebody is sitting there angry. Why are they jumping? You don't know my story. Are you hearing me? You don't know my story. I have had an encounter with him and I know what he saved me from. And if I look back in those days, several years back before I became born again, around this time, my calculation will be how many bottles of beer I will drink and how many dance halls I'm going to attend. Are you hearing me? But here am I, saved by grace. Hallelujah. So when we come to church, you don't let anybody outdo you. Because you are the only one who can tell your story. And so while someone was with the table of men and sharing all the good things about men and talking about all those things, Mary said, well, I know what I can do. Praise the Lord. So she poured the oil on his head. And some people sat back and asked the question, hey, what is this woman doing? What is wrong with her? This is expensive. Beloved, what is expensive in the eyes of God? He offered himself for us. What else can we give that is much more expensive than the offering of himself? And that is why we are celebrating Easter. And we go through this experience of the Holy Week because we are testifying to the fact that what he did for us is beyond our understanding and sometimes even beyond our own comprehension. Hallelujah. But there were some people who were complaining. But the truth is that those who do not appreciate what God has done for them will always complain when others are appreciating God. They sit in church, they will not dance, they will not clap, they will not pray, they will not stand, they will not kneel. And when other people are doing it, they're complaining. Hey, why are you making too much noise? I said, you don't know my story. I'm the only one who understands what God has done for me. And therefore, when we come to God, we come to express to him our appreciation for what he's done for us. Hallelujah. And in this particular story, we are told that some people began to murmur, what has this woman done? And then they started infecting themselves. Look at her. This one, we could have even sold it and given the money to the poor. There are people in church who will not give, but they infect others not to give. And while giving is going on, they are telling them what are they using the money for, and what will they do, and why are they doing, and what is the convention doing, and why has the convention not done, and why are the convention, so why are you giving money to the convention? Hallelujah. Don't allow anybody to infest you with their negativity. Because when it comes to appreciating God, we are the individuals who know what God has done for us. And sometimes people give to God and people sit back and say, are you crazy? We are not crazy. We know what it means to walk with this God. And especially as we celebrate Easter and we reflect on our past and on our sin and the redemption that we have received, even the clearing of our conscience of the fact that now we are saved, that is even enough. Hallelujah. So the woman broke this. And the people were talking. I mean, what has she done? This is too expensive. It is more than a year's wage. So here is somebody who has given her annual income to God. Are you with me? Her annual income, all the salary for a year, she says, God, take it. Are you there? So when you compare that with what you do, how well are you and I performing? And sometimes even for the month when we are giving a little bit of it, even the 10% people are now arguing. And the truth is that if you think the tithe is too small, why don't you make it 20 or 30? Hallelujah. But the cost of this woman's oil was 1 year's wage. 1 whole year's salary was put into appreciating his master. Because he knew the value of what Jesus had done. Now the woman also noticed that Jesus was always doing everything for everybody, but not for himself. And so for once, she said that if she's done all this, she healed this one, opened the eyes of that blind man, the cripple walked, everybody was happy, things were happening around. So if I have the man alone in my house today, then I must do something else for him. Hallelujah. Amen. Beloved, church is not about us and about us receiving. Unfortunately, a lot of Christians today in several churches go to church just because of what they will get out of it. It's about me. It's my blessing and mikriso, and I swallow it. May God be gracious to you. Our love for Jesus is about giving to him. It is not about we receiving. And during this Easter, may God touch you to do something special for Jesus. That for once you will sit back and say, Lord, I know you blessed me. And for that reason, I want to honor you. Hallelujah. Amen. So Jesus spoke out immediately to quieten the people and said, leave her alone. What she's done is intended to prepare me for my burial. And the people said that this money could have been used to take care of the poor. Jesus said the poor will always be with you. But there's this one opportunity. And sometimes you hear people, the church is collecting the money, what about all the poor and all the poor? If you look at the number of schools we've built, the number of hospitals we have established across the country, in the last 4 years, at least, we've opened 9 brand new hospitals. Rural areas. This past week, I've been receiving messages from all our hospitals. In Opuniase, they've had about 5 birth deliveries only this last week. Amen. Had it not been for the Baptist hospital in Opuniase, how many of them would have found cars even to travel from there to Agogo or to Jansa? But that hospital in that small village is helping to meet the needs of people. So somebody said, what about the poor? You don't know what we are doing. Hallelujah. But Jesus said the poor will always be with us. But for this one, it has to be done at this particular time because it is special. Hallelujah. Now what Jesus said is an indication that he had accepted the gift.